EIT Technology, and she will be giving information about the EIT courses and scholarship which is available, and they have wonderful.
Thanks, Jayaz. My Caroline. I'm just going to put my video on. My name's Caroline, and I'm based here in our Perth campus, Perth, Western Australia, and we've also got a smaller campus over in Melbourne, in Victoria. Campus programs and provide you information on the types of courses you can study.
Yes, Carol, you can start it, please.
Perfect. So you can see up on the screen, this provides you an overview on the Engineering Institute of Technology. So we've been around for a long time. We've actually been as years. You can see that we're one of the only last year we delivered our courses to over we've got a lot of courses have a doctorate industry-based expert lecturers for us. And we've also utilised a lot of, we have invested a huge amount of money on the technologies we'll be able to use throughout their study with us. Just go to the next slide. These are the programs that we offer. So we've got 4 bachelor's and 4 master degrees in the different engineering disciplines. Electromechanical, civil, structural, and we've got our course, which is industrial automation and automobile engineering. And we have quite a few people that get confused between the two. But industrial automation is an up and coming field, and it is all about automating things, so automating processes and objects. So for example, in Australia, we have a huge mining industry, and companies are spending huge amounts of money on machinery and equipment on those mine sites. And we need engineers and technologists who are able to work in that field. You can see here we've got 2 campus locations, one being in Perth and one being in Melbourne. So we've got 2 great locations for you to choose from. These are the few that make us different to other providers in Australia and around the globe. I think the number one point is that we specialise only in engineering. So you can think of EIT as a boutique provider in what we do. It means we've got an extremely supportive learning environment. So students will be part of a class of no more than 20 students. So it's a very personalised experience. Everyone will know you by your name. You won't be in a massive lecture hall like many of the other universities. Also, we've got, as I mentioned before, we've got engineering professionals from around the globe that teach our students. We do what's called a blended classroom model, where some of the units will be taught by lecturers who are based in different parts of the world and stream in, like what we're doing right now, to teach within the classroom. So that's complemented by local lecturers. Our programs are affordable in comparison to other engineering programs in Australia and around the globe. And obviously our programs are all internationally endorsed Australian qualifications. These are just a few facts on our bachelor degrees. So our next intake is February 2021, and the intake after that is July 2021. The fees per year are $22,750. And you will notice from July 2021, we are increasing our fees very slightly. However, students will also experience from July an internship as part of their student journey. So that's something very exciting that EIT is announcing, or has just announced from July, an internship as part of the experience. You can see here our degrees run for 3 years. We don't do the honours year for the 4th year. So it's a 3-year bachelor's, and students will graduate at a level of an engineering technologist. In terms of the entry criteria, Shayaz, would it just be Indian students that we are looking at, or people from all over?
There could
I
be
think
people
you're
from the all
mute.
over. People will be from all
Okay.
over. So if you can talk about the criteria from Nepal and Pakistan too.
Yeah. All
And
right.
I think
Um,
Vani she has joined us from the Sri Lanka as well.
Oh, fantastic. So I'm actually going to send through this link afterwards. But basically, we're looking at students with an average of 60% in their top 4 academic subjects, and they have to have 60% in maths as well. So maths is the only critical subject that we need to be accepted into the bachelor degrees. And you can see here the English requirements. We need an IELTS 6, no band less than 5.5. And we can also organise English packaging. In terms of our master degrees, I'm not going to run over each of these points, but it's exactly the same as the bachelor degrees. You can see we've got 2 intake dates. The fees are the same as the bachelor degrees, and with a slight fee increase from July 2021. And it's a 2-year program. And in terms of our entry criteria, we're looking for a student with a bachelor degree equivalent to an Australian bachelor degree in a congruent field. So a congruent field would be, for example, someone wanting to enter into our Masters of Mechanical Engineering, and they would come from a mechanical engineering background, same as civil or electrical or even industrial automation. In India, I do know that there's quite a few students graduating from a Bachelor's of Instrumentation and Control. That would be a good example of a bachelor degree that would fit into our Masters of Industrial Automation. English requirement 6, no band less than 6, and we can also organise English packaging with one of our English partners. We run over the intake dates, but something I wanted to highlight to you all is students can start their studies from their home country. So for example, if you're in Sri Lanka, you can start 1 or 2 units of our bachelor's or master degrees from your home country, and the fee for each of those units online are about half of the cost of what you would pay for on campus. So you can save quite a lot of money if you do actually start your studies online. We've run over most of these points, but just something to note, with the hands-on practicals, students have to complete workshops throughout their studies, and that will just be part of the course. Including a lot of remote and virtual laboratories that will be utilised with the assessments that students have to complete. In terms of our student services, they help from the students' orientation all the way through to helping with prepping a student for a job interview, helping them with their resume, and also helping with the internship opportunities and organising guest speakers to come in. So a lot of different activities. We've got something really unique at EIT called a Learning Support Officer, and they basically the person that helps a student per unit that they complete. So for example, if you are studying our master degrees, you're doing 4 units for one of your semesters. For each of those units, you would have a Learning Support Officer that is helping you throughout that unit. So they're your go-to person. If you've got any questions or concerns about that unit, they are your person for support. And obviously the academic faculty helps from learning all the way through to the work integrated learning component, which is the internship. Onto the scholarships. So we've spoken about the fees. Our scholarships range from 35% off the full tuition fees all the way down to 10% off the full tuition fees. So the 35% scholarship is huge. But to get To be eligible for that, you need an average of 75% in your academics to apply, and all the way down to the Dean Scholarship, you need, I think it's about 65% in your academics. So you can see we've got a range of scholarships for students in all types of academic ability. And we've also got a whole range of current student scholarships. So if you don't get awarded a future student scholarship, you would be eligible to apply for one of our current student scholarships. And I'm just going to flick through some photographs now. Our campus locations in Perth. We're about 8 kilometres. We're right next door to Curtin University. Just some facilities such as free parking for students on campus. And you can see the grounds are beautiful. Lots of green grass and trees. Melbourne is right in the centre of the city. We're actually just shifted campus location, so we will be sending out some more photographs on that shortly. And just some more photographs of on campus. We get Engineers Australia to our students each semester. And then just some more examples of site visits, the workshops, the lab. This is one of our students showcasing one of our laboratories. Some more photographs around Melbourne, some more pics. And that's about it from me. So if anyone's got any questions, or Shayaz, if you've got any questions that you've thought of, please feel free to ask me anything. I think you're mute.
Thank you, Caroline, and it was good informative on the information and the slide, the presentation from you. And I have a few questions. That probably the student might be interested. The one thing at the moment, we are running an online class, and the Western Australia very. Even the Clive Palmer lost his case in High Court to open the border. To open the border, so they say this is unconstitutional, but they said the government has a right to close it, and that's with the things I stand. So how long we are looking at it that Western Australia, especially the Australia, will having any information you have, you can share. The border will be open. So this is the first question we are getting from the student: when the border gonna be open? When we gonna be travel to the Australia? And when how long we have to study the online? The only one semester, or we are looking the whole year study in by online? So that's some of the genuine question from the student we are getting time to time when we are counseling the student. So could you please highlight some information on this question of?
Shayaz, I wish I had an answer for you with that, but unfortunately, I think we're just all waiting for the government to provide advice on when students will be allowed to come into Australia. Obviously, the good news is the borders are starting to open up, sign, especially for Western Australia. We're opening up from midnight tonight to other stuff. We've actually got students who've had to start online with us because they weren't allowed to come into WA, and they were based just over a few states away. So very, very good news about that. But I think from our perspective, we are still processing applications for students who are based outside of Australia for February. However, it is probably a high chance that those students will be deferring to July intake next. And I think from the general feeling from everyone, people think that the borders will open up before July next year. So fingers crossed. You're just mute, Shayaz. Oh, you're mute. You're on mute.
Yes, I'm just on mute now. And the thing is that the opening the border for the mistake like within interstate. So will the classes be still running online, or they will be able to do the on-campus classes?
Yep. So in Perth, we've been operating like normal on campus because we're so small in comparison to the universities. In Melbourne, it's been a different story, and all of our students have had to study online. So we did provide our students that were having to study online with with a discount on their fee. But for as far as we're concerned, students will be going back like normal in February next year, so physically on campus.
Okay, because the some of the question which I received that students said that look, we are applying for the Feb intake that hoping
Yeah,
that if the borders open we can travel, and if the
yeah.
border doesn't open, can they defer their study? Is that
Yes,
option
of
will be available?
course, of course. Yep, yep, yep. So any student as well that has been awarded a scholarship for our February intake and can't come
Yes,
across because of the borders, we'll just
yes,
move that to the July intake. That's not a problem at all. We'll be
yes.
working and supporting those students as much as we can.
So there will be, because some of the university they are insisting the student, look, if you got CA, you got the visa, you have to start their the study online.
No,
So
we're not forcing
that's
that
not a
at all.
compulsion.
No,
You're
no,
not for
no. No, they can defer
that's
if they
very
would like.
that's very good news. That's really a very good news because sometimes the students say like, yes, we can enroll, we can apply for the visa, and but what we want that if the border doesn't open, we don't want to do
Yep,
the online class. We want to defer the study, so
yep.
we want this
Fair enough.
option. If that
Yep,
option is there, then they are willing to do. So I think really that's information. I think
yeah,
my some of my office is also connected here, so from Delhi, so they can pass on
yep.
information this to our
Fantastic.
other offices too.
Shayaz, I'm in shock. So is that right? So the universities are actually trying to get students to start online, then don't really give
Yes,
them the option to defer?
yes, because one of my
Oh
student
my
he got
goodness.
the visa for the Curtin college and leading to
Yep,
Curtin University, and he doesn't want to do the online classes,
online. Yep.
and they're not allowing him to defer the study.
Is that allowed? I would be looking into that, Shayaz. That
I think
sounds
they shouldn't.
crazy.
They shouldn't have. But what they're saying, if you are running online classes, so they should student should attend online classes. But I believe that
Yeah,
they should be given the student an option whether you
of
study or
course.
you defer. I think
Yeah,
that's
yep,
your approach is very
yep,
good. Your approach is
yep.
honestly is more more realistic than
Yeah,
I shouldn't take any university name actually. Sorry about that.
yeah, it's all right. Shayaz,
um,
I've just got a
yeah.
I've got a question. So EIT, as I mentioned before, we've been doing our online programs for over 15 years, so we're highly experienced in the online world. Just something to note to your viewers: our online fee is about half of the cost um, as an on-campus unit. So we are not like the other providers. I'm assuming that a lot of the other providers are charging the same as what they charge for on-campus. Our fees are about half of the cost. So if we've got quite a few students that have started online that have done 1 or 2 units with the idea of coming on campus once the borders have opened, and they've already saved $3,000 or $4,000 from just doing that. And they'll get a reduced study load in one of their final semesters on campus. So yeah, just something to note that is also an option for students, that they won't be
Oh,
paying what the on-campus students would be paying.
so that's
Yeah.
nearly the half of the semester fees, but
Yeah,
with
correct.
50% scholarship
Correct.
if they study online.
Basically. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. And also one more thing, Caroline, you should highlight in your presentation because there's
Yes.
number of areas of engineering which you are doing. The EIT is doing it, bachelor and master. Some of
Oh,
the
yeah.
areas are the global talent. The student can also be apply after finishing their master in some of the area. They can also be apply for the GTI Global Talent Visa if they can
Is that
demonstrate that.
right? Which ones are that?
Yes, you
What
should.
field is that, Shayaz?
Look, look, I will share a one clip to you separately. I'll
Yeah.
send you on WhatsApp. That's one. So go through that one. They have a number of because they're talking about the mining and they're talking about. I'll just give me a second. I'll quickly.
Okay. The
Uh,
only we avoid doing that though, Shayaz, because we're not allowed to be talking, I don't think, about PR, a part of that.
no, it's
So
not about PR pathway. It's about the distinguished talent. There's something
okay.
which is high in demand
Wow.
in Australia, and
Yeah.
now if
Yep.
you look at the skilled migration has been dropped down for 2020 and 2021 for the
Yep.
next year, and now the global talent used to be only 5,000 places previous, but in current year it's about the increase 15,000.
Wow.
15,000 places for the global talent visa.
Because we've
And
actually had a student trying to apply to do our on course here in Australia. They were on that visa. So interesting.
yes,
Must be.
and honestly that I believe that student, you should be talk about this, why students should take the that should take the benefit of it, actually. Look
Of
what I'll do there,
course.
Caroline. I share one of my screen and that has a small clip which probably we should run it here, and
Yep.
that way the student will have bit of the information about.
Yep.
I will share my screen. I'll run one small clip,
Thanks, Jayaz.
and that will have some information for the student. And just give me a second. I'll just first set it up, then I'll share my screen.
Thanks, Jayaz.
Can you see my screen,
Yes.
Caroline?
Yep, yep, yep. What's the process to get that granted, Shayaz? I just saw
It's a
that the
very
final slide.
yes. The I will share this one. We share screen with you. The clip
Thank
with you.
you.
So some
Yep.
information. But the process is very simple. You don't require any skill assessment. You don't require
Wow.
anything about that whether uh, the uh, whether like you don't require any skill assessment, you don't require any English proficiency. The
Yep.
global talent visa is basically if you can demonstrate to the Department of Home Affairs that a special prioritized team for that one, a special team, that if you can
Yep.
demonstrate that you can able to get 153,600 plus gross salary, annual salary, and you have a from a
Wow.
same field nominator that like in a same field expert from Australia who is Australian citizen, eligible New Zealand citizen or the permanent resident from Australia
Yep.
can nominate you and then can say okay, endorse you that yes, this is the global talent. If he is coming to the Australia, that can be benefit to the Australian economy. So that
Yep. Yep. Yep.
if applications goes very quickly for unique ID for the Department for Immigration, and in a couple of weeks time they assess the process and they give them a unique key, which that unique key they can apply for the global talent visa, and that's pretty
Yep.
much this people are getting within 2 to 3 months only. And some
Okay.
of the
Wow.
courses which EIT is master courses are doing, they look for the research, they look for the some publication, they look for the
Yep.
master
Yep.
courses by research and the master the coursework where the applicant is able to demonstrate that they are uh, highly qualified in their field and they can be benefit to Australia, and they're able to get the salary above the 153,000, even they don't have the job offer, they still can find a nominator like who is the expert in the same area, and if
Yep.
that expert is nominate them, they are able to get this visa through.
Wow. Okay.
It's a very simple process, but I shared this information with you because you are
Yeah.
already
Please do.
yeah, you are doing quite number of courses which definitely can be interested to the applicant, and if you need any assistance in that part, I'll be more than happy to assist you if any of the client is there, how to get it through.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be
Yeah,
fantastic.
even if you like, if you have a pupil in a field which is
Yeah,
is in demand for the Australian government, and that's according to the targeted skill sectors. So if you have a
yeah,
cohort of that applicant and the students, I can give them a presentation. I can present something for them, so they
yeah.
can definitely get some benefit.
All right, brilliant. And Shayaz, you're based in Melbourne, aren't you?
I'm based in Sydney. We have an office in Melbourne as well, but myself is based in
Who's
Sydney.
who's your colleague in Melbourne?
Melbourne, we have at the moment Shivani, who's looking after the Melbourne office.
Wasn't there someone else based there,
It
or?
was it was the Sagir, but Sagir is no more working with us. Jayant was
Okay.
there. He's moved to the other part,
I thought
and
there was someone else, but maybe not.
uh, it was Sagir and the Jayant, and
Oh,
now
Sigil.
both of
Okay.
them, yeah, yeah. So he's not no more working with the Blue Sky,
Oh
and the
no.
Shivani who's taking care of the Melbourne office, and
Yeah.
will be. I'm based in Sydney, but I do more often travel to Melbourne as well.
Yeah, yeah. And Shayaz, is your Nepalese team still operating? Because I visited them
Yes.
at the start of this year.
Yes, they are still operating, and they are because of the pandemic, office was closed for a while, but they are again
Yeah, yeah.
back to the office, and we try to
Uh,
again build up the momentum because this
yeah,
pandemic has slowed down everything. That's why we have heavily invested on the IT platform. So now we're doing the virtual fair, and we are
yeah,
trying to be connecting the student directly to the virtual fair by virtual counseling, online counseling.
yeah, yeah.
So we are
Okay.
quite a lot doing in that one, and being quite aggressive in terms of our marketing and things for the
Yeah,
digital platform.
yeah.
And that's we are seeing
Great.
the real progress. We are doing it, and this information which we have done, that yes, I know there were some hiccups. Couldn't plan out very well, didn't have enough time, but we can plan out the another session probably sometime
Yes,
in December
definitely.
or the end of December,
And
and we can.
I was just going to say,
Yes.
Shayaz, did you get anyone making any comments on this particular live session or not? Not yet.
I think we have about 12 people were live on the Facebook. So
Oh, okay.
we
Cool.
just I think we have a 14 shares over here, and then we have so far we haven't got any comment, because that means this presentation was quite informative, and that's also available online as well
Yeah, yeah,
for the student who want to have some information which missed out
yeah,
something. So that information is there online.
yeah,
And if anyone has any comment, because we still have 12 people on a Facebook live, if anyone has any question or they want to have a one-to-one counseling, they can definitely do us with us, and we can organize online counseling for them.
yeah, definitely.
Or any comments, we are more than happy to take any Q&A as well. You can put it by comment, or you can also join us on a Zoom session.
Yeah. Well, thanks for organising this, Shayaz. It was great to be online, and your other colleagues online as well, Faiz, Mohammed, and
Yes.
who's Blue Sky Immigration?
That is Sandeep. Sandeep is the
Oh,
IT person
Sandeep.
from our Delhi office.
Oh,
And
hi, Sandeep.
Sandeep, can you please put your name into the instead of Blue Sky Immigration?
No, that's all right.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easier to
Hi,
put a name.
hi, Sandeep. Thanks so much for organising all of this and making sure it's running smoothly.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, Sandeep. All right, brilliant, Shayaz. Thank you so much. And
Thanks,
it's
Caroline.
late
I will
your
be.
side.
Yes, I will be. No, I'm in Sydney, so it's not. It's still 5 for me, but it's
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, but what I'll do, I'll share a clip for you on a WhatsApp. I think I got your number,
thank
so if
you.
you're on a WhatsApp on that one,
Yes,
so I'll tell the
I've got your
global
number
talent
now.
clip for you. Yeah.
Yep,
So I will
perfect.
send your WhatsApp of clip, and then probably if you you need anything in that regards, some information, so we can have another meeting one to one, so I can give you some more information.
Yes, please. And Shayas, we would love to organise a session with all of your colleagues to also run over the programs, because they might also, it must be so confusing having so many different providers when you represent so many different people. But yeah, thank you so much, Shayas, and thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks, Carolyn. So we're gonna, Sandeep, you can put offline on a Facebook, and we're also gonna wind up. So it's 5 o'clock.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Shayas. I'm
everyone,
gonna.
and
All right.
have a good weekend, everyone.
See you. Bye.
See you. Bye bye.